Okay guys, GH, welcome back. And I just hope the audio's okay. Okay, now for the general premise of channel lock is trail axis. We set up on trail axis, we stay on trail axis. And of course, one of the basic tenets is that the ball is always back here, it's never up here. Why does it have to be back there, guys? Because we can't swing beside our body if it's forward. But for people, say for example someone's had a right hip replacement and they can't load into that trail hip. I'm still struggling with this bug I've got, guys. And I touched on this initially back in the early days of the evolution of channel lock, where I gave an alternative to a lead axis. Now it's not pure channel lock as such. It's what I would term a Frankenstein channel lock, in that it's a complete moving away from the absolute purity or the pure version of channel lock, and this is a Frankenstein version. But there's no reason why you can't do it, guys. And what I'm saying is that where we have conventionally in channel lock, where we load trail here, and this is unloaded, well, you can load lead forward, load there, and this is what I call transverse diagonal. We're loading into there, into that lead axis there, we're loading into the trail axis as well, so we have that weight moving there, we have this weight moving here, but we have a balancing act with the upper body staying in this position here. So it's balancing out those two axes moving this way, because the upper body is here. And it's staying there when I hit the ball with those closed shoulders. But essentially, guys, you can actually do this. You can set up on the trail axis with your ball position, then you can just load forward like that. See how I'm just going here? Now my shoulders are really shut when I do that. I've still got the ball back there, but I'm loaded forward here. And when I come down, I'm going to stay there, but I'm going to be here. I'm not going to be back here where I normally am. I'm going to be there. This part's going to be back, and I'm still going to have an emphasis to keep this fulcrum back there, but I feel a predominance in this lead axis. And you can do that if you want to. If you're someone that's been a stack and tilt guy or whatever, or just a lead side loader, you can do that. But you must play the ball back here, and you've got to keep that trail, those shoulders closed, and that trail shoulder back when you hit the ball. But I can actually hit the ball quite effectively when I do that. So this is what I call a lead axis load in. After I've set up here on my trail axis, then I just lead axis load here. And what's interesting, guys, is it really makes you sort of buckle into that lead knee here, like that. We get sort of a shuttle under type effect. I mean, I hit the ball beautifully when I do that. I don't have any problems with it. And it's just an alternative, guys. It's a Frankenstein. So here we are, we set up conventionally with channel lock, we're loaded here, then we just step over here and then we load there. But we're loading here at the same time. It still hits the ball great. Get a bit square on. That's just a beautiful shot. We've still got the shallowness. We've still got the shallow attack of the channel lock because the ball is off the trail foot, even though where loading left, you would think that the swing would be steeper, but it tends not to be. Ball flight's beautiful. What does it do? For me, it flattens the ball flight out a little bit. Still goes exactly the same flight, but just flattens it down a little bit. So the Frankenstein is this guy. We set up normally here, then we just step over here. We step there. I mean, those balls out there, they're just like the wind is ripping across here today. Probably hear it on the audio here. I mean, that's about 6 inches in the ground and trying to blow that over. Very windy, but nice. You know, it's not humid like it has been. Yes, I'm still struggling. So Frankenstein. So it's a Frankenstein alternative. Okay, I'll do a full one. Here we go. Conventional. We're going to set up here. Yeah, and then we just step over here. Then we're going to keep those shoulders closed. I still get, even though I'm here guys, as I come in I get pushback. I get pushed back into the trail side, so I'm getting sort of a drive off this but a pushback off that. And that's that balancing out or equalising pressure. Here we've got this pressure here and this one working back. We load forward but then we pressure back when we hit. So we set up standard here, then we just fall onto that lead axis. Just really nice. Alright, I'll put a bit of ready code in that, or ready pause. So I get straight on. Yeah, back here. Step over here, lean there. Guys, if people who are not comfortable with loading to the trail side, load to the lead side. But keep all the other tenants in play. And try and feel when you're hitting it that you're driving back off that lead side. The trail arm's coming out as a force out, compensating for the force coming back off that lead leg. I mean, it's a beautiful flight. I mean, exquisite flight. Loading there. Ball doesn't move, guys. What does it do for me? It gives me a perfectly straight flight. I mean, I normally hit that little draw, but that's just perfectly straight. There's no movement at all. Don't understand exactly why that's happening, but it just gives me a dead straight flight. And you can see it's still shallow when I hit the ball. So here we go. Yeah. We're just going to load forward. I tell you, you do get under the shot. You very much get under the shot. There's no chance you want to roll over it. You couldn't roll over it from there. I don't think it's possible to roll over the shot from there. So if you want to play a Frankenstein or a lead axis, we set up on the trail axis here, conventional, here. And some people are talking about this here. Well guys, that's how I get the shaft up and down, or straight up and down. You know, if I had had this formation, the shaft would have forward lean. The only way that you can get no shaft lean is to have that configuration. The lead hand has got to be in that position. If you go forward like that, then two things are happening. You're taking loft off the golf club and you're opening the club face. If you can compensate for that, that's okay. I can't. So here we go. So we're loading trail axis here, setting up north. Then we're just moving over to that lead axis here. And we're going to stay shut with the shoulders. Pretty easy, guys. So it's, this could be a great boon for anyone that struggled with working with the trail axis, that wants to load left, wants to load lead. If you want to stay on that lead side, that's okay. Because you can certainly get, but you don't want to start off on the lead side. Because if you start off on the lead side, I promise you'll end up with the ball too far forward and you'll end up with too much shaft angle. So stay back. Stay back here, stay with the basic tenets of channel lock. Here, there, shoulders closed here, load left. They're just beautiful shots. Absolutely beautiful shots. What does it feel for me? It certainly feels that I've got more torque in my golf swing. And it really feels like a short backswing. But because there's more torque in it, I can have a shorter backswing but still have the same power. That's going exactly the same distance as I would hit a 6-iron normally. It's exactly the same distance. So there's more torque, but the range of motion in the golf swing is down. Now with the driver, I haven't tried it with the driver. But there's no reason why it shouldn't work. I just haven't tried it. Here we go. So we're trail loaded. Then we just move on to the forward axis. Wow. Is that pure? Is that pure? Very, very strong wind. And that just held us line straight into it. Wow. That was the first shot with it. So we're back here. We're going to keep those shoulders shut. Now we're just going to move on to that trail axis, but we're going to keep those shoulders closed. Well, there's a christening of that principle live, guys. I hadn't tried it with the driver yet. I only thought about it driving out here today. But you have very difficult conditions, and that's just gone perfect. Wow, it's so windy. It's going to blow this mic over. All right, we've got a. How do we get the feel for this? Just get a wedge, 9-iron, 8-iron, whatever you like. Got a wedge here. Just set up standard channel lock here, and then just step over and load there. Just take a couple of little shots. Just keep those shoulders closed. Hit a couple of little 100-yard shots to get the feeling. here. Going to keep the shoulders closed. Just going to load over there. So we've got this sort of force going here. Got the upper body force here, and as we hit it, that trail leg is pushing back into the trail side. The lead leg is pushing back into the trail side. Here, load forward. Shoulders will be closed. Doesn't get any better than that, guys. That's how you'll learn it. Okay, so just another thing. Mr. X and I have been, because with channel lock I've been gripping everything down since I've been, since I tried the Cobra 1-length clubs, and I still haven't had mine built yet because it's a special job and I want to be involved in it. So I've just been gripping my own clubs down, and I grip everything down. So to the extent that my driver length grip down is about 43 inches. Why am I gripping down on everything? A, because I want to play one length, but for me, with channel lock, I like to get closer to the golf ball. The more I can get that trail arm in there, the happier I am. And that means that if I can grip down on the driver, I can get closer to the ball. Now, Mr. X the other day, excuse me. Mr. X the other day, he's got a mini driver, you know those slider mini drivers that came out about 4 years ago? 43 inches long, 14 degrees loft, about a 240cc head, perfect for channel lock, guys. Because we're playing it off the back foot, you need a fair bit of loft. Now it's got 14 degrees of loft. There is a TP model that's got 12 degrees of loft. We're going to try that, and there's another one that's got 16 degrees of loft. We don't need 16, but the 14's perfect, because off the back foot it's great. Now, what I was finding was that with the 43-inch length, it's just perfect. I don't have to grip it down, I have to do anything. And the 14 degrees of loft is perfect. And it's a little head. It feels like swinging a 7-iron. But even though it's a shorter club, I get exactly the same distance as I do with a normal driver. Because I can hit a really strong power draw for some reason or other. The club we've got it seems to be a low spin, 14 degree, and it really gives me a really strong right to left power draw type shot. So I hit it same distance as I hit a normal driver, but I hit it with the accuracy of the 7-iron. It's absolutely ridiculous how accurate it is at that length. So guys, like, that cost nothing. I think Mr. X bought it for $100. So, you know, there's still brand new ones around in shops, still in plastic. So you could probably pick one up if you're in the US, probably pick one up for $80 or something like that. But guys, I can recommend it. We're going to do a video on it. Mr. X turns up today, we might even do it. But it's certainly, it's fantastic. I mean, I'm going to play with one. And we're going to go out and hit, do a few vlogs on the golf course when the weather gets better. And I'll show the difference. I'll hit it on the golf course. But here, it's exactly the same distance as I'm hitting a normal driver, but it's very accurate. I'm accurate with the driver anyway, but this one is ridiculous because it's a shorter golf club and it's got a lot of loft. But it works perfectly with the back foot. Anyway, guys, that was just an aside. So have a look at the tailor-made SLDR slider driver, mini driver. I think Callaway brought out a mini driver as well. 43 inches long, if you can get about 14 degrees of loft. TP's at 12. We haven't tried that yet, but the 14's working great. Anyway, guys, so that's the Frankenstein golf swing and a little bit of information on shorter drive. The Frankenstein works good. I mean, loading over here, there's nothing wrong with it. But we're doing that. We're throwing the club out the back door here. That leg's driving back into that arm going out there, even though we're loaded left. Okay, guys, it's going to rain, so I'll just kill that here. But I think that gives some options. That's Frankenstein channel lock. which just gives you an option for anybody that wants to load on that lead side.